Good evening, YouTube. Good evening, my fellow Canadians and Calgarians. Um, I am prepared to make this video for the recent posts in the news about Naheed Nenshi and Michelle Rempel in another Twitter battle. So let me give you some context. There was let's call it a poll put out, YYC Matters survey. And this was an invitation by federal political parties to give their 5 cents on issues that are important to Calgary that they will address themselves at the federal level in politics. So Michelle Rempel tweeted that she had already sent a stance on the Conservative Party to Calgary Matters, and answered the poll, when in fact that information had not been yet submitted, I believe. Now, it's possible that Michelle herself had already sent the information, or one of her people did, but failed to submit in time, because as we know here in Calgary, Nenshi has a way of embroidering the truth. So I don't believe for a second that they didn't submit the documents. What I think is that there may have been a small delay. But nevertheless, the real topic of concern that I want to talk about is the fact that Nenshi is again involved in a battle with Michelle Rempel. Now, I consider Michelle to be a highly intelligent person, a great representative for Nose Hill at the federal level. And in addition to that, there have been many times that she's voiced her concern for Calgary itself, because Nose Hill, of course, here is a Calgary riding. So I believe that she's fully invested in helping the city of Calgary as best that she can. The trouble is, this mayor has done some things to tarnish her reputation and even insult her upon occasion. Let me bring you back to the math debate. So, Naheed Nenshi and Michelle Rempel in Twitter spat over math remark. Mayor Naheed Nenshi says he apologizes if a comment came off as sexist. What he did was, there was a debate over the cost of some issue that came forward. And just let me get some context here. Okay. Two high-profile Calgary politicians have become embroiled in a heated social spat. It began on Sunday when Rempel and Nenshi sparred on Twitter over the impact of a property tax increase on suburban business owners. The disagreement escalated on Tuesday when Nenshi told reporters that Rempel was making hay out of an issue she does not understand. I am happy to have her wade in. I'm happy to have her help if she wants. It's sort of helpful if she actually knows what she's talking about first. When pressed, Rempel was confused about. She didn't understand what was going on. Apparently, math is challenging, but hopefully she'll figure it out. Okay, so there Nenshi is trying to say that MP Michelle Rempel can't add up the numbers. Okay, I would argue the counter proposal, which would be that he doesn't know math at all. That's not a sexist statement. That's based on an empirical observation of how he's behaved in the past. The property tax issue increase has been 200% for me personally, and above of 200% property tax increase since Nenshi became mayor. Now, there are many people that support Naheed Nenshi that want to cover up this point, but what I'm saying is, Michelle didn't have her facts wrong. Nenshi, when you get him out and you challenge him, he'll make it personal and he'll assault you in any way he can. Like, say this example, he makes an insult to her her integrity and intelligence and so forth. It came off as a sexist comment, but really it's a like a swipe at her in many ways, to say she knows nothing. Rempel had a completely valid argument. The property tax was increasing on suburban business owners a lot, so much so that many of them have actually moved away from the downtown core or left Calgary entirely. If they moved from the downtown core, they relocated to outside the city to try to mitigate the property tax hikes, which are unsustainable to keep their business running. So that was the point. And Michelle Rempel was correct. The property tax increase was a legitimate amount. I don't know if they were talking actual figures or whatnot, but for me personally, as a homeowner, I've seen my property taxes go up past 200% of what it was 10 years ago. So, that aside, here is another one. This YYC's Matters poll is just something I think that's designed to, like, there are so many issues facing Calgary that are outside our control, like the oil sands being in a locked up position, no pipelines being built, and so on and so forth. That becomes a federal matter. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that Rempel can only do so much at the federal level. If they can get pipelines approved again, then we can talk some more. But the fact that this poll came out, I think, was sort of a trap, because Nenshi never fails to take advantage of a situation that gives him more power, more spotlight, a more positive viewing in the public despite all the nonsense he's done. So if you look here, it's like, okay, she replied too late. So what does that matter if she replied a little bit late? They still replied. They talk about the Green Party and the Liberal Party are the other ones that submitted a response to the program. So, and then Michelle Rempel, the federal conservative candidate for Calgary Nose Hill, she's not a candidate. She's actually the incumbent. She's running for re-election. So that's inaccurate. She said that the survey's completion was delayed because the party was not aware of it until Wednesday. So you see my point. The conservatives were notified late. Given that we are the only party that stands up for the city time and time again, we were more than happy as a team. We spent a lot of time yesterday, all of us, to respond in a fulsome way to this survey, Michelle Rempel said. So we're the only party that cares about this city. We're the only party that's got its back. I believe that. Michelle Rempel on many occasions has voiced her disapproval of the Green Line project, which is a $4.5 billion hit to taxpayers in Calgary that we really can't afford right now. Not to mention that it's been done in the most inefficient way. They don't have accurate figures to project it. They just have a simple estimation with no white cost or anything else added in there that will be added in later for additional expenses, of course. And, of course, handled in the Nenshi way. Nothing is bidded, everything is handled inefficiently, and it'll probably end up costing a lot more than $4.5 billion. Now, maybe you disagree with me on that. To me, the way that each and every project has been handled in the city of Calgary has been done without trying to keep tax dollars from being wasted. It's always been whoever gets the project first. Okay, it's expensive. It doesn't matter. Okay, pass it. There's no efficiency, no responsibility for the spending of that money. So I can say in the 2 point first, this insult to Michelle, Nenshi should be very, very careful about insulting a federal member of parliament. And I say that because he's a mayor that tends to get involved in federal politics a bit too much, outside his jurisdiction, I might add, and always with some kind of political aim in mind, and always to try to, I don't know if any of you remember, but he tried to interfere in the last federal election. And I believe that is a type of power that a mayor, they should not engage in that kind of thing, because it is not his responsibility. It's him flexing his power, if you will, and trying to exert his power over a federal election. That's disgraceful. So, that aside, Nenshi has insulted this lovely woman in the past. She's a great MP and a champion for conservatism in this country. And I think that there's a lot of issues here that prove to me that Nenshi is not only arrogant but sexist as well. And he should be careful because, she's not nobody. She's a member of parliament. Show your respect. It cannot be just you make comments like that without a good reason. You don't make it for any reason. So with that being said, I just want to say that this is another piece of evidence that Nenshi, whenever you try to talk something against Nenshi, even a valid point, he blows up and throws a baby tantrum. And he'll attack you personally, and it'll be insulting and so on Twitter or one of his social media pages. But nevertheless, that kind of behavior for a politician, especially a mayor, cannot be tolerated. So I thank you for your time and attention, and I hope that you can see this is another occasion in which Nenshi is trying to overexert his power federally. That's outside his jurisdiction. So thank you for your time and attention.